Alright, welcome back to part 7 of the Neopets the Darkest Faerie any percent speedrun tutorial. If this is the first of these videos that you're catching, make sure that you start at part 1 so that the rest of this makes actual sense to you. So in the previous video we covered the movement in Act 2 and a couple of spots where you can use the instant text glitch. In this portion, this is the first part of completing Act 3, in which we have to break back into Maryville Castle. Normally, casually, you have to do a bunch of questing around a Neopia, I guess. But for any percent, all you have to do is get back into Maryville Castle and you're set. So I'm paused right now because I'm trying to avoid some enemies moving as soon as you load into Act 3. But what I should mention is that you should, for sure, grab a safety save. Either save at the save point or somewhere in this corner, or if you're fast enough, you can save on one of those platforms we're about to do a ledge for. Okay. Equip these just in advance. So I'm going to be showing you how to do a kind of an optional ledge fly here. The backup is just to kill the enemies here, but make sure if you do decide to kill the enemies here and you're having too much trouble with this ledge fly, that you take off your motes and just do it without the motes, because we'll need these motes for the next fight inside of Maryville Castle in the next video. So make sure you don't use up any of your motes here. Okay. So from here, what you want to do is grab this ledge and then grab the middle of this second ledge, right around here, where like the right side of these grass particles are. And then you're going to pivot Tor. I'm actually a little bit too far to the right, so this looks a bit better. And you want to angle Tor such that he is sort of facing between that tree on the left and the bush on the right, but a bit more biased towards the bush in his angle, okay? So I'm going to go for another ledge fly here, and there are a couple of different outcomes depending on your distance between your feet and the edge of the ledge. You can either get a straight angle ledge fly or a slightly sharper angled ledge fly that will get you a ledge grab further towards where you want to go. The latter is ideal, but I'm going to show you how to deal with both, okay? So I'm going to go for the ledge fly right here. Going to just re-grab the ledge just to reset my gravity. And then this is an example of a straight edge ledge fly, or a straight line ledge fly. That would have worked if I didn't get hit out of the air, which I know sounds weird, but you would eventually ledge grab back out of bounds. So if you get a weird one like that, keep it going, because you can still get out of bounds with it, okay? So we'll try this again. The enemies have started to move on me, which is going to make this a bit trickier. Tor's going to want to point himself towards the enemies here. Ooh, got it off of the damage. So that's an example of the straight angle ledge fly. So eventually this will put us out of bounds right around here inside of this sort of lake area. Okay, and what you want to do from this position is approach towards the landmass and then jump so that you can get over an invisible wall. Go towards like the side of the lake, for lack of a better term, that has this green on it, and approach this slanted wall. Run up and to the left and jump until you grab a ledge, and that should put you up here. Now, if you get like the slanted downward ledge fly, it will put you in this position automatically. But that's how you back it up if you get the straight angle ledge fly. Both work. It's just kind of a matter of which one you get and how you handle getting over here, okay? And if you ever have trouble, just try to make your way back in bounds and go for the ledge fly again, okay? So once you're in this position, what you want to do is grab this ledge right here and just keep holding up and a bit and to the right until you get on top of it, and then you can jump up to this top one. Now, it's important to make sure that you don't go too far to the left here. If you pass through this wall, it'll put you back in bounds, and that's not what you want. You want to go through this wall on the right side until you see this platform, and then jump on top. And then once you phase through this next one, you'll see some trees, and at this point, it's safe to go to the left and back in bounds. And that puts us on the other side of the road here, so now we're good to go, okay? Okay. So, moving on from here, we're going to go into another Roberta dialogue here. So open up the menu for the instant text skip as you go up this sort of middle step. And we'll stop right about here. This is another really good place to make a save, just for convenience's sake if you're using the hack pack. There is a mega jump strat that you can use here to get out of bounds and do an alternate method of this next sequence I'm about to show you. But that's a bit advanced and really tricky. So instead of doing that, If you want to try it, let me know and I'd be happy to walk you through it. But what we're going to do instead is go down the path and go towards this bridge. Now, getting across the bridge, there are two ways that you can do it. You can either do it via a ledge fly or a mega jump. If you're good at mega jumps, the mega jump is by far the superior option. But if you're really having trouble with the mega jumps, then go for the ledge fly setup. I'll start with the ledge fly setup. So there's a couple of different things that you can go off of to do the ledge fly setup. Easiest way from my memory is to walk off the front side of this, get a ledge grab, and then climb back up. So you kind of want to do it from a jump so that you can have like the lower gravity here. And then just do a straight angle ledge fly. Just like that. And then be prepared to jump and hold forward, because sometimes Tor doesn't quite stick the landing, okay? I'll show that one more time. Alright, so you run up to the bridge, up to this red piece of geometry, jump away, and then kind of circle yourself around. Like that, okay? And then once you get the ledge grab, just turn around and do a ledge fly. Game lags here a little bit, so if your pause menu takes a little bit to come up, don't worry about it. And then just do the ledge fly, hold forward, and mash jump. And you got it, okay? Here's another ledge fly setup that you can do here that's a little bit trickier, but if you're having trouble with that first one, this one doesn't really require you to do that. So you're not going to, for this setup, you're not going to be able to get a ledge grab here, because most of the time. Sometimes you rarely will, but a lot of the time Tor won't be able to grab the ledge in time. So don't rely on it, just nudge yourself close enough to the ledge and you should get the same. Okay, just do a ledge fly from right here, and this can also work. And then again, be ready to hold forward and jump just in case. Some people find that a little bit easier. I personally prefer the first method, but do whatever works for you in terms of if you're going to use a ledge fly here. So here's another example, just kind of scoot your way up. Right about here, do a ledge fly. Just like that. Okay, so those are the ledge fly methods. The fastest of the three is to use a mega jump. Now, what I usually do to set up a mega jump here is I stand where this red line is and a little bit forward, so kind of onto these bricks here. And then we're going to do a mega jump. So, a quick review of mega jumps. You equip your cloak and decloak. But instead of holding back and X like you would for a ledge fly, you instead hold X and select, okay? So you go circle, X and select. That was a screw up. Oh, you want to be holding forward as well. X and select. And then you're going to see Tor gets a bit longer. You're going to close the menu with triangle and then hit X. Just like that, okay? So you're going to do the same thing, but to do it to get over the bridge. And this is a bit faster than the other methods that I've showed you. But again, if you're having trouble with mega jumps, I would suggest going for the ledge fly route. Like that. Now, depending on your gravity, so if you want to make this easier, what you want to do is, as you're on your way, after you've gotten back inbounds and you're making your way this way, if you want to make this easier, you want to be at a lower gravity. So what you can do is jump kind of from this distance and get Tor to grab onto the ledge, okay? So, for example, right there, if I go into options, and I'm going to show you my gravity values. So it's still at 1.0. So if you do like this running jump, that'll work. But other times it won't like super work, okay? So you want to like run up to it and then jump. You don't want to run up without jumping, okay? If you run up without jumping, it'll stay at 1.0 gravity. So you want to jump into the ledge when you're right next to it. Okay, and then I'll put that gravity value, which is that dark blue value, at the bottom of this sort of stats page. That'll put it at 0.3, and it means that because of the lower gravity, you'll get more height out of your mega jump. Okay, we're going to ignore that, and I'm going to turn these coordinates off for your convenience. So again, go to the red line, step up to the next row of bricks, and then perform a manual jump. So circle forward, select X, and then unpause jump. Yeah, so you can see how much more height that I got because I had the decreased gravity pull. And if you want to keep practicing these, just jump into the water and it'll put you on the correct side of the bridge to practice. Alright, so now that we're here, this is a pretty safe spot to pop a potion of Mirka speed. You're going to want to take this route to the right, and we're going to make our way down the hill here. And what we're basically going to be doing is the exact same setup that we did in one of the previous videos in order to get into Mirrodel. So you're going to be getting another opportunity to practice this. When you go through here, I'm actually going to correct a mistake that I made in that video with the manipulation to avoid enemy spawns. You're going to go around the right side of this rock and then go around the left side of this rock. And that should keep you safe. Ish. So I'm going to do a lead fly here. And that'll get me across. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm not going to go over in as much detail, so I'm going to show you a bit of a faster run through of it to get, especially since a lot of runners don't do this setup anymore, a lot of the top runners. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly to show you what this looks like at a higher speed. Okay, so you make your way up to it and pop one more, fall back down, turn to the right, and jump to get over that wall. And then move towards the right side until I see the skies clear up like this. Then I continue running such that the woods are to my left and this giant bit of green geometry is on my right. And then start making my way a little bit more towards the right. But again, we're trying to steer clear of that big green grassy plain right there. Once I clear it, I'm going to start making my way to the right by 90 degrees and towards this tower in the distance. We're going to wait for the black fog to set in, disappear, and then we start counting 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000. Then we stop and turn and use the castle spires in the distance to judge when we need to turn. So now that we're to the left of the castle spires, we start moving towards them. Again, we're going to wait until the third of these castle spires in terms of distance to us disappears over the top of the screen, and then we're going to turn to the right. And then once we turn to the right, we're going to keep walking forward until we see that big green dome in the back disappear. So now we stop, and then we wait for the trigger to load in. And then we go ahead and pause once we see that loading screen disappear, cloak, and then attack. And then you're good to go. And then you just make your way around this bit of geometry here, and then go through the exact same door like we did in Act 1. Alright, great. So that's going to cover the first bit of Act 3. In the next video, we are going to cover the upcoming boss fight and minion fights, as well as sort of the end movement sequence of Act 3. So splitting it up into two to make it a little bit easier for y'all. Let me know if you have any questions or problems in the comments, or feel free to message me on my socials if you have any issues. Until then, see you in episode 8, I believe. I can't even keep track anymore. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.